Yo, what's goody fam? Welcome back to the Human Behavior Mastery Podcast. This is a podcast about leveraging psychology, enhancing your mindset to create a better life, a better business, and ultimately a better you. This episode, I got a guy from the town, from a similar place, and after chopping it up, realizing that similar mindset and perspective, but he really got a lot of game just in life in general, but specifically about tapping in and enhancing your mentality to unlock the tools and the gifts that you need to become ultimately who you want to become. So without further ado, my brother, Mindset Mogul, was good.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Mindset Mogul, Shaun Crummey. People call me the Mindset Mogul because I'm able to help you take your mindset, turn it into a tool set to create cash flow and assets. And most people, they want to get to the bag, but before you can get your money right, you got to get your mind right. So I'm here to help you get your mind right.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. You know what I mean? A lot of I like to use the platform as a space to tap into brilliant minds, sort of steal that 10,000 hours so folks can begin that journey, but also see what's possible on the other end. And for me, this is cool. I was just laughing. I had Ash Cash on. He from the town too. But just like, I feel like there's a lot of movements, a lot of places, but like, coming from the city, there's a lot of brilliance there. And I think it creates a very unique experience and perspective because of just the way it is growing up in that city. But we could take that and go anywhere. But I also believe that wherever somebody's from, they could use the environment, the relationships, the tools to propel them to what they want to do. So I'm actually really looking forward to the conversation, man.
100%. I'm looking forward too because this is the first time we get to sit down and kind of build and like having new relationships, bro. That's always exciting because you never know where it goes, but we're always meant to be with strategic partnerships, right? You're meant to be with other people to create the life you want. So this is just the beginning of our journey, brother. So I appreciate you for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm a big fan of diversity of perspective because I think it makes us smarter. I think it makes us better. And the way I look at it is, I have a particular lens. I have a particular perspective based on how I grew up, my thoughts, my opinions on things. But that's a very limited worldview. Now, when I speak to you, I get to learn from your lens and your perspective. And now it enhances the both of us because there's an exchange, there's mutualism. And then we go as enhanced to go spread that with somebody else. And I think that collective sharing and experience is what makes life really rich. So for the people who may not be familiar with you, share a bit about your journey and sort of what led you to get into the work that you're in now.
So how far can we go back?
Wherever you feel comfortable.
All right. So I like the piece that you started off when you were like, so you get a piece from this person, you kind of learn and grow. Like my view is limited, right? So I lost both of my parents growing up. I lost my mom, but I lost my dad first. My dad was murdered when I was just 2, in front of our building. And this is in New York. This is Brooklyn. So even that was my very first obstacle that I didn't even understand how to even navigate because I'm 2 years old. I don't even know what's going on. I just know that, I feel something. My mom, she remarried and she ended up having twins, which became my brothers. And later on in the journey, I started to realize something. I may have lost something, but I've gained more than I lost.
Okay.
See, my obstacles were opportunities. So I may have lost my dad, but I gained 2 brothers.
Okay.
Like the 2 brothers that are on this journey with me right now, we're transforming people's lives. Like we have like a tremendous relationship. And if I was regretful or if I was, looking at it from a negative point of view, I would be resentful of the fact that my dad was murdered versus understanding that was part of the story. So I go back to like what you were saying, like when my mom, before she was on her deathbed, she said this to me. She was like, yo, don't allow my sickness to become your weakness. And at first I used to think, damn, I can't tell nobody my story. I got to make sure, I'm good. You know how you get when everybody asks you how you doing, you just be like, I'm good. Yeah. So I was in that mode of just being good. And during that time, I was very open to hearing other people's perspectives because I didn't know what was life was going to be like after she passed. But when she passed, you know, I had no parents. I obviously had my grandparents, and shout out to my second dad and everybody who was there for me. It's just that moment allowed me to say, okay, I need to get as much information as possible. So I just started collecting information from everybody. I don't care who it was. Anybody could tell me something, I'm listening. You know how when you're young and adults tell you something you don't really want to listen to it? Well, I'm listening. What do I need to hear? And doing that allowed me to actually have what they would call, oh, you got an old soul. Or, oh, you kind of wise behind your time. Oh, damn, you kind of mature for your age. Like all of those things. And then, so it didn't round out until now, right? But going through my journey, I realized, okay, I have to get mentors. I have to have coaching. So I would allow my basketball coaches to be like my mentors. I would allow, you know, my professors. One of my teachers, she used to, I don't know, you know, if she did it for anybody else, but she used to give me $50 every weekend. I'm like, why you give me $50? She was like, because I want to show you that when you work for something, when you work hard, you're going to get something. I had a 99 average, grade point average in school. Okay. So she was just showing me that if you work hard, if you do the things that you need to do, you become that person to have success. So it ain't about the money. It was about you being the best version of yourself.
Process.
Yeah, it's a process. So then I realized, oh shit, my whole goal is to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, I can identify with that for sure. I have this like obsessive, monomaniacal obsession with being the absolute best version of myself. And, you know, I was sharing with you offline, like I'm really big into possibility. So like I'm a possibilitarian. Like that's my currency. Is to just explore and be curious about what's possible. So even with people, it's like, what makes them tick, or why do they do the things that they do, or what, or even if we thinking about, well, I wonder what would happen, or what needs to happen to create this result. I want to solve that problem, right? And you learn so much in embarking on that journey, and in hindsight, you start to see that the dots connected for you, specifically for you on your journey, a very specific way, and that's what makes it special and unique. So you lose your dad at 2. Right. How old were you when you lost your mom?
I was about 15. Literally, like, you know, I remember like it was January. My mom, born in January. My mom, she had brought me this diamond ring. It's like, what's this diamond ring? It was shining. It's beautiful. And she said, this might be the last thing I ever get you. You know, I'm like, what do you mean, man? Last thing you ever get me? She told me. And before you know it, that next month she went into the hospital. I remember seeing her walk out, and she was walking out stumbling with my granddad with her, and that was crazy because I see my mom go from this amazing queen, like beautiful, strong. She's an entrepreneur. She helps hundreds of thousands of people become successful. She gave jobs to the community, right? So now, not only that, I'm seeing her stumble out the house, bro. It made me feel like, wow, everything that you're given is temporary. Yep. It is temporary. So when I seen that, she went to the hospital. Long story, she ended up passing away 3 months later. She had 13 brain tumors, collapsed lung, and it was like cancer, you know. So it was just really killing us. So I've seen that whole, you can have it all and you can be wealthy, but it doesn't mean anything without your health. Yep. So you start to see all these different components that come together through the lens of your own, but you see it from other people's experiences. And then when I realized, oh snap, other people's experiences are also my experiences. Yep. Start changing my mind. And I realized the more I get to know myself, the more I get to know everyone else. When you talk about like being in this space, you understand that you learn from the past, you see the future, but you live in the present possibilities. You live in a possibility of the present, the possibility of the now. Yep. Right. And when I started doing that, it transformed my whole life. So I no longer started to see what my mom said as a sickness being a weakness. My story soon became my strength. So I started sharing my story. I started letting people know what I was going through because it might be somebody else that could, you know, use my information to help them change their situations. And I remember me being like in college, I went to Seton Hall University and I also went to Pace University. And I remember just seeing people just, you know, feeling lost, right? Even myself, like I remember when the way I used to speak, I used to talk all smooth and, you know, just be like that. From New York, you got the New York swag. But then people used to be like, yo, stop hitting on my girl. Or you hitting on me? Like, what? Like, so I had to switch up my lingo. Like, all right, cool then. Let me try to be direct without feeling swaggy to him. But it made me lose a part of myself. And that was my character. Like you mentioned, like as we go through, we get these things that help us build character. My mom passing away was a thing that helped me build character.
In what way specifically? Like how did that affect you?
Understanding that everything is temporary. When you know that everything is temporary, you can love better. You can love harder. You can love more effectively. When you know that everything is temporary, you can give your all. When you know that everything is temporary, you can go through pain. There's two sides of pain. You know, it's two sides of pain. You got the pain of regret or the pain of reward. So understanding losing my mom, am I going to sit and I'm going to soak inside of what happened? Or am I going to allow this to be like, damn, I got to live with one of the greatest ancestors ever?
That's an amazing perspective to take. And there are people that do choose that side of the coin, but there's also a lot of people who choose the other side of the coin, and it debilitates and destroys people. And you know that brood of like the what they lost, right? And you know, one of the things that my father would always, you know, impart to me was the importance of opportunity cost, right? So this particular instance is going to afford you certain choices. And with every choice that you make, whatever you say no to, you saying yes to something else. And whatever you say yes to, you saying no to something else. And there's a cost attached to that. And so, you know, I'm listening to you speak and I'm like, choosing to look at it from this perspective had you say no to a whole bunch of things that could have took you down a different path, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, I would imagine it's very difficult, but just you chose intentionally, even at that age, to look at it from, you know, the cliche of the bright side, right? And what was possible and what opened up for you from that. Right. And so your mom passed when you were a teenager and then you were going to school. You know, like how did you transition from that experience? And like, what did the next phase of your life look like?
Yeah, so people don't know, like, but during those times I was sleeping in the benches of the dorm basement rooms, right? So like the dorm room, they got the basement where they get like snacks or whatever the case may be. You might do laundry down there. I'm sleeping on the benches. And I had a choice to make. The choice was, do I face everything and rise, or do I look at everything as false evidence appearing real type? Like, do I look at my current situation? Am I really sitting here, or was that my choice to sit here? And I realized it was all a choice. I was actually choosing that, because another choice I had was to go back home. And I said, nah, I'm not going back home. So after leaving college, like I graduated or whatever the case may be, and it was amazing, got my degrees, but that didn't really mean anything to me. Like when I got out of school, I had no job. I was an entrepreneur with no job. I guess I started out in film and photography. So I would go around, I would shoot videos for people. I would go to clubs. I would do recap videos. I would record people's and do documentaries, whatever I could in the video lane. And then I realized I need to do something better. Moved to California, became a graphic designer. When we had an opportunity to invest into real estate, because right before I left school, right before I left in New York, I went to California. Right before I left, my brother, one of our brothers, was like, "Yo, let's get into real estate. Let's actually like do something big." I'm like, "All right, I'm with it." So we start looking up, you know, all these different real estate courses. You know, Jay Morrison. Yep. He took his whole course, and he was giving out some games. So he's like, "All right, cool. Let's study this thing." Mm-hmm. We had an opportunity to get a brownstone in Brooklyn. So I came back to New York because we had an opportunity to get a brownstone in Brooklyn. If you're from Brooklyn, you understand these things go.
If you were from New York City, period, it ain't even just Brooklyn. But what's crazy is I was just talking to somebody, the pinnacle of success, if you like from New York City, is like, well, maybe if you come from certain communities, black and brown people, like it's to get a brownstone. Right. And Brooklyn is famous for their brownstone. So to get, like when you just said that, I felt that. Like to get a brownstone in Brooklyn means like we here, right, and we made it. Right.
So that was the whole thing. Is like, all right. So first of all, I went to Cali because I was just like, let me just change environment for a minute. Went to Cali. I liked it. I was like, all right, let me stay there. Decide, okay, cool, we got this opportunity, flew right back over here, and I ended up doing graphics for Netflix and Roku. So while this time I'm doing graphics for Netflix and Roku, I'm put together the funds and I work with my brothers to make sure we can get this property. This property took 3 years for us to close on. 3 years for us to get the deal, right? 3 years for us to sell the thing, right? Because we really wanted to hold on to it, but our partner, capital partner, didn't want to. So he's like, all right, we split it. We made 6 figures our first deal, and that's what put us on. So once I left school, like did real estate investment, did 6 figures of first deal, and it was on from there.
6 figures on the first deal. I don't know many people that could say that.
Right.
So that sets a foundation.
That anything is possible.
Shout out that's the KG joint, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think it's beautiful that you was like doing that with your brothers.
Right.
Like I come from a big family, and just like that closeness.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to do business with family. Yo, what's goody, fam? Listen, I know. I'm going to let you get back to the episode, but I wanted to take a minute to let you know about the Human Behavior Mastery course. Yes, we have a course that we put together for coaches, consultants, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I know you're listening to the pod, and it's all of this numbers and the adaptive and the natural, the D, the I, the attributes. We put together a comprehensive course to walk you through exactly how to understand each one of the personality types, each one of the values, and we're going to show you exactly how to get the most out of each type. What things you need to avoid, what environments to put you in, and what pieces to put around you to be successful. So if you're looking at taking your business, your life, or your relationship to the next level, make sure you go check out the Human Behavior Mastery course. Back to the episode. But I'm really curious as to how you cultivated the mindset that you have. Right? There's a just a calmness about you, like a groundedness about you. And it sounds like you've had very challenging things occur in your life, and you've had to figure some stuff out. But you don't get here without being very intentional and deliberate about choosing, and the power of choosing and being deliberate and intentional. So do you feel like it was something that kind of just happened, or you there was a moment where you was like, listen, I need to lock in and focus and like
100%. And all of these moments none of the moments are directly related to each other, but they're chain linked. Yeah. Meaning that today's a day, whatever you do today to win the day will have a result. Tomorrow's a day, whatever you do tomorrow would have a result. And then you could combine the results, but they don't necessarily have to be combined. So in the sense of, if you had trauma in the past, you don't need to have to bring your trauma into your future. You don't need to have a predictable future by living in the past, right? You could have a powerful present by just being in the present moment. So when I realized good was no longer good enough for me, that I had to take my life to another level, was when I saw the possibilities. First possibility of that unlock was being able to go to California and still maintain a life. Like, whoa, I could just pick up and leave and then still be amazing. I don't have to be deep rooted into New York City. Okay, cool. Next thing was, we have an opportunity to get a brownstone. You get the brownstone. Whoa, wait a minute. 6 figures first deal. Wait a minute. Life change. It's life change. Okay, cool. Now the next domino was another obstacle. These were all obstacles that I saw as opportunities. So I lost over 55 pounds in 41 days, had gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Wow.
This is me at the office. I'm doing graphics for Netflix and Roku. I'm like, hey, look, allow me to sit home and recover. They're like, nah. All right, we'll let you sit home. A month went by, nah, come into the office. Why do I need to be in the office? You need to be in the office because we need to make sure that we know what you're doing. All right, you know what I'm doing because everything is online. This is 2019. So I'm like, damn. All right, cool. Come into the office. And then I said, you know what? What about if I take my vacation days? They said, hey, no problem with that. So this is my first attempt to now become more effective in less time. So I took off every Monday and every Friday. What ended up happening? I had a 3-day work week, got paid for 5 days, but I only worked 3 days. Wait a minute, what? I get paid for 5 days, only work 3 days, and I got a 4-day weekend? Oh nah, I'm on to something right here. I'm on, and I just came up off the 6-figure deal. So I'm on to something. So now I got the money, I'm shaking and moving, but it's little money, but it feel big because I never really had this amount of money at one time doing these things. So I'm like, all right, cool. Become more effective in less time. So now I'm getting to the bag, and now we get to a point. All right, cool. I can't keep doing this. I have to like make a choice, and I had a choice to decide to move forward and make a bigger impact in my life, because I seen, bro, they told me to come into the office. If you lost over 55 pounds in 41 days, and I seen you for 2 years straight, but then I see this one time and you like that, bro, you stay at home as long as you need to recover.
And I think a lot of people miss that. They're like, because I've been there, they don't care about what you got going on. They care about what you can do for them.
Right.
And so at that point, you got to make a choice whether you still want to invest in something that clearly is showing you they don't care about you, or do you want to, burn the boat and bet on yourself so that you have the control. Either you take the control or you giving it to somebody else.
Right. So that was the thought. Is this, they shouldn't have to care, right? Because that is not even their responsibility. It's mine.
I really like your perspective. Yes.
I have to love myself enough to do the things I need to do in order to get what I want in my life. You got to love yourself enough to do the things you know you need to do. Forget about the things you want to do. You might not want to do it, but do you need to do it? Mm-hmm. I had to do certain things. I had to love myself. So me taking that time, bro, taking those vacation days, that was a smart move. That thing set me up for the future. I had no clue that was doing that. But all I could think about was, how could I get the best experience in the present moment right here, right now? And it was about becoming more effective in less time. I was sitting down in my room. It was dark. It was about 9:30. And I was getting ready to go for bed. But I was just thinking, pacing back in my room, and I sat down on my bed and I said, okay, cool. I need to be better. Mm-hmm. Good is no longer good enough for me. But what would it look like? I have to serve more people. Like the thing that crept up on me was, as an entrepreneur, right? Inside the workspace, I'm the only one really shaking and moving. Like, I got one of my buddies, he's like recording me, doing videos with me. His name Brian. Like, we'll sneak out for lunch. And during this time, we had 12 employees. So like, we could just do anything. Towards where I left, where after I had like the gas station Reef, we have 80 employees. So we done grew the company to a big company. And now at this point, it was less shaking and moving. So the thoughts started creeping up. I had conversations with people. It's like, you're an entrepreneur also, but I understand you probably just want to work for yourself, right? And my mind kept thinking, work for myself? What do they mean by that? I said, no, I don't want to work for myself. I want to work for everybody in my target audience. I want to work for everybody that wants what I have to offer. What do I have to offer? The one thing that I had to offer that I know that everybody has to offer right here, right now, is my story. Because for right now, how many people might feel that good is no longer good enough for them?
A lot of people.
Right. So I started writing down every little bit of breakthroughs I can get. Everything. I started going to seminars. When I started going to seminars, I started taking mentorship. Started going through a course of action that showed me a roadmap, a blueprint toward the bigger end. And it said, you can get paid to be who you are. Wait a minute. This whole time, you mean to tell me I was already getting paid to be who I was, but I was capped because I had what we call the salary. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. That's cap. I don't need to have a salary. If I'm getting paid to be who I am an unlimited being. I could be here right now and be somewhere else right now.
Yep.
Same time, I'm unlimited. So, okay, cool. How do I do that? Oh, shoot. I got to speak. I got to speak to people. I got to let my words navigate their thoughts. I used to go to events. My heart pounding. Boom, 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 boom. Raise my hand at the end of the event where everything is coming to the end. Can I say something, y'all? Everybody looking around like, who is this guy? What he want to say? Like random parties or whatever. They might not know me. But I raise my hand. I'm like, oh, can I just say something? And then everybody stopped like, yeah, what's up? I just want to say, you are amazing. You are complete. Everybody take out your phones right now. I want you to look in your camera. Turn your camera on selfie mode. And I want you to say beautiful things to yourself. I want you to say, I love you. I want you to say something to yourself as if you're talking to somebody else. I want you to talk just like how you talk to other people, because it's easy for you to give advice to other people, but it's hard for you to follow the advice that you give. I want you to love on yourself. Everybody's like, what? Just take it out. Take out the phone. They take out the phone. They start smiling. And everybody is saying my affirmations. I love you. Everybody starts saying, I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for getting me to this point, to where I'm at. And, even if I was on autopilot, damn, when I look around, I did this damn good job. People started crying. What? That's like, wait a minute. So my words are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when I seen that, bro, I was like, oh, snap. I want more. I want more of that. So if I'm only able to get into their minds by being in front of them right here, right now, what else could I do to add value to that? Started writing a book. Guess what? The book was about me. Guess what? How easy that was. It was so easy because I already knew my timeline. What I sat down and did, I wrote down my timeline. So, okay, cool. My dad passed away when I was here. My mom passed away when I was here. I went to school here. I was a student athlete here. I did this. I graduated salutatorian here, right? Like all of these different things I wrote down and then put them into little notes. And then I started making a book. And now I have this book right here, Becoming More Effective in Less Time. And it's teaching all the strategies that I've used over my time to become more effective in less time, where I'm helping people turn their annual income into monthly income. But I had to do it myself first.
I like that. So a couple things came up. One, you doing that at parties is wild.
Wow.
So I'm just like, oh, he had the audacity to do that and doing it scared. Because some people are like, I'm nervous. Anybody would look at you like, yo, he's a bug out. Like, what is he doing? But you got to not care and be on assignment. But you also said, like, you realized, like, your good wasn't good enough. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm giving it my best. And I'm like, yo, your best is not always good enough for the situation at hand. Your best is not what's getting you to where you want to go. So instead of focusing on doing your best, you got to do what's required. Right. You gotta check the box. You gotta meet the mark. It's the same thing, but just in a different. What did you do to better your best?
Right, and I love that. First thing I had to do was, and it's these 3 pillars: assess, assign, align. Right, I had to make an assessment of my life. What is going on in my life right now that's non-workable? Because it's not about right or wrong, King. Like, it's about what's workable and non-workable. And what wasn't workable was the way that I was treating people. What wasn't workable was the way I treat myself. What wasn't workable was me, going out, being outside to like 5 a.m., going home, getting sleep to like 7:30, waking up, taking a shower, going to work, and then running off that. It really wasn't workable long term. I did it, but it wasn't workable long term because it would mess me up for the next days. So then I had to give myself an assignment. Okay, cool. If I'm gonna assess my life, I'm gonna see what doesn't work, and I'm gonna see what does work, and I'm gonna keep what's working and expand upon it. Now I gotta add to it. I had to give myself some assignments. A lot of times we're running around here just going to work and just doing stuff, but I wasn't being. So there's a lot of humans doing, not enough humans being. I had to start being the person that I wanted to see, right? And how did I start being that person? Change my diet. The first thing I did was change the word diet. Diet has the root word of what? Die. This is why most of the time people who start, they die off with the diet, because it's language creates the reality, right? So I started diving deeper into psychology, understanding human behavior, understanding how to actually get a person to do what they need to do instead of just sticking for what they wanted to do. The first person I had to get to do that was me. How do I get myself to do the things I need to do, even though I don't want to do it? That was part of that raising my hand, doing it scared. So I said, all right, cool. My assignment is every time I go somewhere, I want to spread love. In fact, I had to write down my possibilities, who I am. So who I am is the possibility of love, connectivity, financial prosperity. That means now my assignment is no matter where I go, I must explore and exemplify those 3 things. I don't need to know you to know you're a great person. I don't need to know your history to understand your energy. I see you. I feel you. You're right here. Your energy can't lie.
That's real.
So when I started realizing that, I said, okay, they can see the same thing about me. I can't be faking what I'm saying. I got to really be that individual, because success is something you attract by the person you become. My teacher taught me that when she used to give me the $5 to $50. She taught me that. She said, like, I'm only giving this to you because of who you are. And I was just shattering the records. Like, come on, bro. How many people you know from Brooklyn doing 99 grade point average? I started out at 65. 65 is barely passing. If you get a 64, you failed. Right? That 9th grade year, my mom passed away. The 9th grade year, I was doing 64. I left. I went to North Carolina. played basketball, won a couple championships with the basketball teams down there, came back up, went to school in Brooklyn, and went to the finals, but we lost ultimately. I didn't get as much playing time as I used to get. I was a star player. My first game in regulation game dropped 30 points. Right? Like, and then coming up to New York City to now be like a shooter, like what? Life is different. So, all right, cool. This all goes back and ties into the story. Every single thing, all the obstacles that I'm going through are opportunities for me to show my greatness. So when we talk about good being no longer good enough, we got to examine ourselves. If good is no longer good enough, what happens? That means I'm too busy being good that I forgot about my greatness. Some of you are too busy being good that you forgot about your greatness. Who are you? The ancestors chose you. When I talk about my mom, that's a queen. I got the blood of a king and the blood of a queen running through my veins. I'm special. You're a special king. That's why I said to you earlier, I was like, yeah, you're the star of your movie. I'm the star of my movie. But when we come together, we co-star. Now we're co-starring right now.
Yep. I like that. Yeah, I also, I think with just thinking about how to elevate and better yourself, you had mentioned
oh wait, damn, my bad. Let me give the last thing.
Yeah,
because I forgot to give the last A, right?
Yeah.
The alignment part.
Yep.
So the alignment part, like discipline and consistency. Without discipline and consistency, nothing's gonna work. That's accountability, right? Yep. So assessing your life, seeing what you want in your life, seeing what you don't want, right? Then the assignment. Who do you are? What are your possibilities? What do you stand for? What do you represent? What type of experiences do you want to create in your life? And then you have to be in alignment with your assignment, because if you're not in alignment with your assignment, you're going to feel struggle. Anytime anybody experiences struggle in life is because they're out of alignment. But being out of alignment is a pushing thing. It's meant to help you, not to hurt you. Right? Because if you're out of alignment, now you can say, okay, cool, I got to get into my space. I got to get back on my grind. Right? How many times we take a break for a minute and we feel like, damn, I don't really feel this right here. I got to get back on my thing. But it motivates you to get back to it. So assess, assign, align was the way that I looked at my life and said, okay, cool, this is how I'm going to change my life and be able to start over, to be able to give myself a new perspective.
Yeah, I like that. Very practical. But I was saying, you was mentioning to me, before we got on, just being somebody who's actively engaged in your life, right? Talk to them about the concept of being an MVP in their life, because I really thought that was powerful.
That's dope. I appreciate you, brother, because you got to look at it this way, man. If you want to, you don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to D. You don't have to listen to nobody. I'm just saying. There's a game being played. It's either you're going to be a player in the game or you're going to be the one being played.
Yep.
So you got to choose. Okay, cool. If I could choose to be anybody on the team, who would I choose to be? In my younger days, when I was like 10, 15, when I was playing sports, I was cool with being the sidekick dude. I was cool with being that person. Got into my 20s, all this, and I'm like, all right, now I want to be the MVP now. I don't want to be the underdog anymore. I want to be the first round pick. I want to be the number one pick. I want to be the MVP, the most valuable participant in my life. Right? I can't sit around and wait for things to happen. See, in my community, we got mailbox millionaires. Right? So the difference between a cubicle thousandaire and a mailbox millionaire is the cubicle thousandaire sits around and wait for things to happen. How many of us just sit around and wait for things to happen, King? Oh, they're going to get picked. Oh, I'm doing music. You know a lot of artists, right? Oh, yeah, they're going to pick me up. I'm going to get a deal. But what's the hustle like? Are you actually getting in front of people? Are you promoting yourself? Are you putting yourself in a space to be heard, felt, seen? And some of us are not. We're just waiting around. See, now the mailbox millionaire, that's the person that goes out and make things happen. I had to go out there and make things happen. So when I talk about being the most valuable participant in your life, you got to be the person that is willing to put the things that is not in alignment aside. That means, okay, cool. If I know I got this objective, my friends, they want to go out, but I got a timeline, I ain't going out today. If they calling me, hey, look, you want to go? No, I can't do it today. I got to be focused. I got to fulfill my obligations consistently until successful. I got to be focused. Sometimes we don't get mad enough to make a decision. But you got to get mad enough. You got to make a decision. You got to say, okay, cool. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I win. I'm either going to win or I'm going to win. right? It's either I'm going to be in the streets or I'm going to be in the suites. But which one you rather have? I'm the MVP. I'm going to the suites. You get what I'm saying? Like, me and my brothers, we talk about this. It's like Hollywood or homeless. You got to make a choice. You got to decide. Decide is what? When you look at the root word, you got to be able to cut off, right? So decide is you got to be able to decide. You got to take away the sides, and you got to have this one path. What is this one path going to be? This one path is going to be, I got to be the best version of myself regardless. If you understand that your focus is to be the best version of yourself, everything else around you starts to happen, because when you grow within, everything else around you grows.
Yeah, I like what you said about decide too, because I have a love affair with words and just understanding, and something has to die when you decide. But if you look at the "-ide" part, right? So pesticide, suicide. That means that something has to die. Something has to be removed, cut off. So when you decide to do something, saying yes to this means you are saying no to all of these other things. You're foregoing it. And a lot of times the sacrifice piece, recently I had wrote in one of my notes, just like, yo, like I just reminded myself, like, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. Right? If you locked in on this, it's going to cost you this, and this. And you have to be okay with that. You got to be okay with paying the cost to have what it is that you want to have. And that also means being able to choose yourself, even when it's not convenient. Because a lot, you know, I would say, I'll speak for myself. A lot of times when I get distracted, I'm off my path or off my game, is because I'm feeding too much into what somebody else got going on. I'm trying to help somebody else to my detriment. You know what I'm saying? And so alignment is super important when it comes to just being successful on your path.
100%.
Yeah, I like that. I
want to add value to that. And this might be a PSA for anybody, right? When you said something in you has to die, right? Like, or something has to die, right? I thought about that as giving birth, right? Because it's duality and everything.
As always.
Right? So which things that you have inside of you that have to die in order for you to give birth to you reaching your greatest potential, to you reaching your greatest version? Which things do you have to kill off in order for you to survive, for you to thrive? Which things in you have to die right here, right now, in order for you to give birth to you being the star of your movie, you being the most valuable participant? Because whether you believe it or not, there's a you inside of you that you haven't even met yet. There's a you inside of you, King, that you haven't met yet.
Absolutely.
There's a me inside of me I haven't met yet. I got to meet that person. That's what I started to do. I said, I want to meet that person. Guess what? That person is going to keep changing and keep evolving. Like, you already hit your high levels from before in the past, right? You already hit your money goals from before in the past. Then what happens? You create new money goals. Yep. You create new levels. So you're always going to be on this constant evolutional train of development and growth. And when I started looking at that perspective, I said, whoa, I got to get comfortable with the journey. It's not even about the destination. I'm going to get to my destinations. Like, when you travel, like, I just came back from Miami. I just came back from Turks. I just came from Bahamas. Like, it's over though. I'm right here now in Atlanta. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so you're going to have these destinations, but you got to keep going.
Yeah, you got to fall in love with the process.
Right.
So at what point did you say, I need to get this book. I need to get this book out?
Well, people kept asking, like, do you have a book? I was like, no. Because what I was doing, I was having meetups, groups, because right after I left the corporate world in 2019. And when I left the corporate world, I was just doing my own thing. I was traveling, doing my stuff. But then what happened right after that? 2019. Pandemic came. So when the pandemic came, I was already before pandemic, I was already meeting with groups of people, because I was in these seminars and these mentorships, but this was all in person. None of it was online until the January came. January came, everything shut down. And so we would have like small little gatherings at my place or at other places. And I would just be doing the mindset, giving everybody an opportunity to be heard, felt, and seen, because Everybody wants to feel these 5 things, right? And if you have a fraction of any of these 5, the relationship is fractured. So everybody wants to feel loved, appreciated, heard, felt, and seen. And when you see, you got to do that to yourself first before you can even allow that to be something that you can do for somebody else. So for me, it was about doing that for myself first. And then I was offering an opportunity and a space for other people to be able to do the same. And when they were sharing, they were going through, they were just talking, they felt loved, they felt heard, they felt seen. But when they were gone, they still, like, what's the issue with being able to speak to somebody and give them so much love and, you know, gain a value, but you don't live with them. You don't see them as often as they see other people that's in their environment. They go back to their environment. They go back doing the same things. But what if I can find a way to have them with me at all times? Create a book. Put everything I would say to them in person, put it in a book. Then I give them activities inside the book to do. So that way they're constantly working and they constantly feel. And then now I get people that hit me up like, yo, what I be thinking about is when I get into a jam or get into a situation, I go, what would crew would do? Like, what would crew do? Like, and I'm like, why would y'all say that to me? He said, because, yo, the words, everything that you speak, your mindset is just so powerful, your perspective. So I just wonder, like, if I could have you, on speed dial, I would know this is probably what you would say to me. So I would just think, okay, cool, I don't have them on speed dial, but I got the book. Let me go and see what crew would do. So they go into the book and they start reading some things that I said, some things that I shared, and they go, instead of having a breakdown, they now got a breakthrough. So I've realized having a book was like going to be the best thing to do. But then I even upped it from there and created an app. Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us about the app. Because that's now you in everybody's pocket. Right. So it's one thing to have that in everybody's hand. And the one thing I like about books is a book is everybody's size, right? Like everybody could to get a book, but the app takes it to a whole different level. There's a different level of engagement, interactivity. So talk to me about the app, and then what is the app like?
Right.
Like how is.
So remember I was telling you I had all of these different, groups, whatever, before the pandemic. Then after the pandemic, we still meeting in groups, and I'll charge people $1,000, $800, but then I started creating a community along with my brothers. So I would just charge $500 as a discounted rate. $500 to speak to me one-on-one, do an alignment call. So they do a one-on-one alignment call with me, so that way they can get their lives in order or change their perspective. And what I realized that I couldn't serve everybody without feeling overwhelmed, because how can I serve everybody when I'm one person? I'm doing one call here that's an hour, one call here that's 90 minutes, one call here, and it's just too much. Yeah. How can I become more effective in less time? What if I was in everybody's phones at once? Okay, the book, not everybody's going to be able to travel with the book and be able to like open up the book, but how many people travel with their phone?
Everybody.
So can I create something that would be on their phones? So the first thought was make a digital book, but then I was like, damn, okay, how many people are reading? What if I create an app that's an accountability partner? What if I create an app that's an accountability companion? So now the app is a companion to the book. So, okay, cool. You read the book, but now you can go into the app and you can do exercises and challenges. So inside the challenge, let's say you're dealing with money challenges. Yeah, I speak about these things in here, but now let's say you just want to get straight to it. Instead of reading through all of this, what you could do is go specifically straight to your challenge. If I'm being challenged with finances right now, I'm struggling in my finances, I will go to the app. I will go to the challenges and I would choose money. Once I choose money as the thing that I'm being challenged with, all of the what we say courses, mini courses will be curated for everybody. So now the curation will come up with all these courses that would be designed for you to get out of the funk when it comes to money.
Got you.
So it will put you in a space to actually create the things that you truly want and change your relationship with money. So the app is a beautiful thing, because now I'm able to like reach so many people, but they can do it at their own times whenever. You could be on a train if you live in New York City. You could do it like, I have guided meditations on there, have people helping you how to structure your funding, structure your LLC, all these different programs on how to evaluate deals in real estate, like creating strategic partnerships. There's tons of groups on the app where it's not just about me, it's about we. Like the biggest thing is creating strategic partnerships. In the book, if you're just reading it in the book, you're just reading it in the book. It's not a book club. But when you get on an app, now you got a book club. When you get on an app, now you got other people. When you get on an app, now you can advertise your own service.
It's community.
It's community.
I like that. And so How far was it between writing the book and writing the app?
I'm gonna be honest. I've been thinking about things 5 steps ahead. So as I was writing the book, I was already planning for the app. So when you look at the book is talking about the app, but the app wasn't even finished yet. I just knew it was coming.
Living in the future, yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was living in the possibilities.
He was living in what's possible.
So imagine when I put this book out. Am I gonna have this book stand the test of time? Okay, cool. If I am, then I need the people to be able to come to the app because I know I'm gonna create the app now because now the app is in my mind. Let me make sure I put the app in it. So I finished the book. The app wasn't even done yet.
And I like that because you marketing the app. You telling people about the app. So now the demand for the app is growing because they're like, where's this app that he's talking about in the book?
Right. So it took me about 3 to 5 months to actually be able to launch it. So when I launched it, I had like a little online thing, and I said, "Hey, everybody, come try it out, see what they like." And I went through a couple exercises with them, some challenges. One of the challenges was like productivity challenge, where you keep you productive for like 5 days in a row. And then what happened is, I love this part about the app is it give you push notifications. So with the book, you might read a book today, you might read it tomorrow, but then you might like skip 3 or 4 days. But with the app, if you skip today, the push notification pop up, hey, you got work to do today.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
So first of all, what's the name of the app?
App is Love Plus Transformation.
Love Plus Transformation.
Yeah, you can just type in Love Plus LUHV with a plus symbol and it will automatically pop up.
Yeah, and we'll put a link to the app in the notes. But you said so the Love Plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember, it's all about love first. If you have love is the highest frequency. Now, if you could find a way to love yourself genuinely, like you're going to be able to be loved by other people because the reality, the 3D printed reality is just a reflection of what's going on in the mind, the mental reality. So if I'm loving myself, other people are going to love me too. If I'm not loving myself, chances are other people won't love me. I won't even be able to see it.
Yeah, because if you don't acknowledge and you can't show up for self, then there's no way you can receive anything from somebody because it's the internal source of everything. Your lens is informed by. It makes me think of that, like when Hov was saying, our external reality is a reflection of our internal upset.
Right. Like your mindset is your lifestyle turned inside out.
Yeah, they're directly tied to each other.
Like if you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you won't.
So are you still doing real estate at this time when you created the book?
100%. Honestly, at that point, I was literally on the phones, calling up motivated sellers on the phone for hours. I'm like, this person just talking to me. Jeez, she don't really want to sell. And I had to figure out, I had to start being more effective and let time that way too. Me and my brother would be like, okay, how do we get to the vetted motivated sellers who actually want to sell instead of calling somebody who potentially would be motivated to sell? And we had got a guy who came in, strategic partner, came in and helped to streamline that. So y'all take care of all of that. Y'all vet everybody. Give us the people who actually want to sell, and then we'll talk to them and see if we can come up with a deal. So then we sell off the good deals and keep the great deals.
Yeah, I like that. So you are literally living out you're actually doing more with less effort through relationships.
100%.
And you think that that's naturally who you are, or because I know you say you do a lot of stuff with your brothers. Is that something natural to you, or did you like adapt into that,
both,
or morph into that over time?
Both, and I think all of us have to morph and change. But naturally, I was a team player, right? Like, you ever play 2K?
Of course.
I'm different. You play 2K, but you play against your brothers, right? I'm 2K, let's play on the same team. Let's win the championship in the season mode together. I'm that person. So that's how me and my brothers started. We used to play 2K together and play on the same team. And then one of my brothers get upset and wanted to leave and get his own team. Like, all right, cool. Me and my other brother stay together. Then he get upset and leave. All right, everybody go their own separate way. But at the end of this years, we come back together, right? And then we kind of win another championship and round it out. And in life, it was the same thing. You're going to go your own way. It's fine. You're meant to shape yourself and really grow and learn to see what you like, what you want. But don't forget to add value to others. Don't forget to be the person that earns the right to have the experience of being a leader, right? So you want to be the person that's a boss, building opportunities, serving society. So the first society that we started building opportunities for was ourselves. Who else was going to do it, right? So I was split against my brothers. We were split up. from household when our parents passed. And that was unfortunate, but every weekend we would get together and have our own huddles and figure out. And thanks to my brothers, I'm who I am today. Like, they helped me become Mindset Mogul. They was they were the standard that I put for myself. I got to make sure when they're around, I got to make sure I'm top level. When they're around, I got to make sure, they know what their path is.
So you felt the charge of being a big brother and making sure that you showed up and gave them an example.
100%. And to me, like you said, I don't have any regrets in that space, because my dad was taken away from me, but I gained two brothers who now we're changing the face of our communities.
Yeah, man, listen, that is I don't believe in words like if or normal, but I think that is a really powerful perspective to choose. I'm often perplexed, and first of all, I just love questions. So even in coaching and mentoring, I usually guide through questions. And what is always interesting to me is why people choose, because if you really understand the power of choice, you understand that you get to assign meaning to every occurrence in your life, positive or negative. And if you truly understand that you have the power to choose and assign meaning, why is it that you assign or choose a meaning that doesn't serve you? Why do you choose the negative part when the positive is right there? And it fascinates me, honestly. Like, just I'm being completely honest. Like, I'm always just like, okay. So to see, like, even through what others may view as a tragedy, or it may have played out for somebody else a particular way, you chose a very what I like to call an empowered breakdown, or a breakthrough, or just chose to use it to fuel you.
Yeah. I want to turn the tables on, and I want to be the podcast host right now. Can I be the podcast host right now?
Thing, man.
All right, bro. First of all, I'm gonna be totally transparent. I like the fact that I met you, bro, because your mind, bro, is amazing. Like, the type of person that you are, bro, just getting to know you right here, right now, bro, you're gonna continue to do amazing things. And I'm just blessed to be in your presence and actually share the same space of life with you. And I know most people don't get in depth with these thoughts, but bro, like, if you look back at it, people talk about like Martin Luther King and all those other people that were great. But bro, I got you. I'm living in the same space in the same time as you, bro. Like, imagine what we could do together with the mind. And we already started it. This already started it. Yeah. So I want you to answer that question, where how did you change your mindset to be able to see that this is a choice? And you get to choose and decide to create the life you want to live.
For me, I hate to lose more than I like to win. And for me, like I told you, I'm obsessed with becoming the absolute best version of myself, just to see what it looks like, just to live in it, to experience it. And so every moment that passes that I'm not doing that, I'm not satisfied. I'm not, everybody else may look at it like, well, you got this or you got, and I'm like, all of that stuff is cool. I want to be my absolute best and say that, like, yo, I put everything into this lived experience, because I know it goes like this. And so I'm just not satisfied taking L's. But I also understand it's a process and it's a journey, and you learn through obstacles and you learn through all of that. And so, the cliche of, experience is the best teacher. I believe that evaluated experience is the best teacher, right? You have to sit and reflect and extract the lesson and apply it. Because just because I give you a tool don't mean you know how to use it. And all of that stuff takes time. And so for me, it was just like, I either can choose to live in this existence and be a victim or blame it on other people or create excuses why I couldn't do things, or I can find a way or use things as fuel and reasons. So when you said, oh, you're not mad enough, I felt that, because I'm a person that uses things as fuel. Like, it's a log on the fire. I'm driven. I'm motivated by that. I will create something Like when when Kobe and Mike, I was watching The Last Dance, but they created, like, somebody says something about them. I'll do stuff like that to fuel me. But I also operate with an openness and just a childlike curiosity that allows me to connect with other people or to just explore, the ether of what's possible. And I use that as a vehicle to take me where I need to go in this lived experience.
Right. And that's so powerful. I thank you for the opportunity to let me ask you that
Yeah,
question.
for sure.
The reason why I asked that, because I was just wanting to get a more in-depth perspective of it, because why aren't most people thinking that they have the choice to choose to create the reality? Most people think that life is happening to them versus through them. And just to hear your perspective, okay, makes sense now. All right, you're another one of the greats who understands that you have a level of power and responsibility.
It reminds me of the Matrix, though. Some people are not awake. Some people don't know. And then when presented with the choice of red pill or blue pill, right, it's like, I always want to know the truth. I always want to understand what is going on, right, and navigate in that currency, because then it sets a foundation from which to build from. But if I'm in space and I don't know what's going on and I'm getting rocked to sleep, then I'm not going to get those jewels and those gems that's waiting for me.
Right.
There's treasure along the path. So, yeah, man, I appreciate that.
100%, bro. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So you got the book, you got the app. What came after?
Well,
after that,
so we started doing what we call accountability programs.
Okay.
So when we break it down, right, accountability is discipline and consistency. So, all of these different mentors who are out here with their mentorships, I am the person that's inside of the community that's running their accountability program. So 4-week program to help a person not only get the mindset, but to get the public speaking, the art of selling, to habit hack, to get the tools and the systems. Because in order for us to get paid to become who we are, we need to have stature, significance, and systems. So the way to even move up the level, like you're doing something right now that somebody would love to do, but how did you even become this individual? You had to have a stature. What is your stature? The stature is who you are. What do you represent? What are you out to accomplish? What type of experience do you want to have? Right? The significance is, how is it playing on somebody else's? What's the importance of it? What does it do for other people? What's the value of it? And the system is how you put it all together to run it as an operation, because everybody's already doing it. Like when you go to 9 to 5, you already having a stature significance system. But the problem is you're capped because you have a salary. You're capped because of your language. You're capped because of what you know. You're capped because of you. Like, the thing about it is this: you have what you have because you are who you are. Now, the other aspect of it is you are where you're at right now because of what you know. And you're not where you want to be is because of the things that you don't know.
That's a fact.
So I'm here to show areas and places in people's minds that maybe they didn't realize existed. Just like the fact that you can create your own reality. Yep. Because it is that red pill. It is that blue pill. Most people say, nah, I'm sticking with the blue pill. I don't want to know. So I get that, because sometimes, like in this case, like if you give somebody access to $100,000 faster than their job could pay them, or quicker than they can save it, and they don't know what to do with it, they're worse off now than they would be if they didn't know the information at all. So I get it. I totally get it. Some people be like, damn, I don't want to know. But what if you can create the reality that you truly want? So you get access to $100,000, $200,000 faster than your job could pay you, quicker than you can save it. Now you speed up your timeline. Instead of working the 40-40-40 plan, which is what? You go to work for 40 hours a week, you spend 40 years at the job, and you retire with 40% of your income. We know about that part, but knowing means nothing, right? Because we know we need to go to the gym, but do we do it? We know we should change our eating lifestyle. Do we do it? So knowing means nothing. So having an accountability program puts you in an environment, because the environment is one of the most important factors into your growth, into your life experience. There's people who come from wealth who end up, not so great. Mm-hmm. People come from poverty who end up doing well, right? So it's really a mixture of your mindset and your environment. As I mentioned to you when we were talking out there, it's like, okay, if you had a taller brother, if you're the younger brother and you had a taller brother and you had a richer brother, right, a rich brother, like who would you most likely end up following? Like who could you actually become? Out of those two brothers, who could you become? The tall brother or the rich brother?
The rich one.
Right. Because it's not about the genetics. It's not about that. It's about your environment. It's about the things you're learning. Because if you learn more, you earn more. So us putting together the accountability program shows people that this is an accelerated program. You could actually start to get the results that you truly want quicker than you ever thought. Like, you might have to work an hour, a full hour of doing a bunch of stuff to get $20. But if I just sold the ebook and I was asleep while it was sold and I woke up and it was $20 in my account.
You remove time from the equation and remove the ceiling in the process.
Right. I got an hour back of my time. Oh, wait a minute. So if you mean to tell me if I start becoming more effective with my time, I will have more time to do the things I truly love that I want to do, right? See, because most people don't talk about the other part. It's the 30, 30, 30, right? What's that? Okay, cool. You spend $30,000 on like tuition to learn from somebody who is making $30,000 a year. So that way you can go get a job where you make $30,000 a year. Wait a minute. That's a little tricky there, right? So why would I do that when I could actually make $30,000 in one day? I could make $30,000 in 1 month. That may sound like a far reach, but it's not a far reach. It's about understanding the things that you don't know that you need to know.
And that's why being around the right people who are doing it, so they show you what's possible, right. And then you prove to yourself that it's possible by doing it.
Right. So I just want to prove to people that they can do it themselves. I want to prove to people that you don't need to prove to others. Just prove to yourself that you are great.
Yo, that was one of the greatest lessons, the greatest like revelations of my life was understanding that it's not about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right, about who you know yourself to be, or in my case, who I know myself to be. I lived for a very long time, you fighting and, they said I couldn't do this, so now I'm going to do all of that. And it's just like, if you shift that energy inward and just focus on acknowledging and affirming you'll very quickly realize that life adjusts to your frequency. And everything that's not for you will repel, and everything that is for you gets attracted to you.
All right. And I love that because most people don't see that their frequency is based upon what they see frequently. You're listening to music that is out of alignment with what you truly want. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to fall out of alignment with what you truly want. So that means you're going to feel struggle. Like a lot of people listen to heartbreak, emotional music, and they have heartbreak, emotional relationships, right? And whoever has your attention has your ascension, right? So if you're putting your money, you're putting your mind, you're putting your effort, your energy into something, you're going to get back what you're putting out. But it's this saying, they say you reap what you sow, but that's just a snippet because we live in a microwave era, so we always speak in short codes. But in reality is whatever you put in, whatever you sow, you're going to reap more. So if you sow a bad deed, you're going to get more of that bad deed. If you sow negative, you're going to get more of it. If you sow positive, you're going to get more of it. And I realized it's not even about being positive or negative, because positive is the outcome and negative is the outcome. It's about the input. It's about me being optimistic. If I'm inputting optimistic thoughts in my mind, then as a result, my life becomes positive.
Absolutely. Yeah. I tell people your mind is the most nutrient-rich soil that exists. And if you plant a seed of pessimism, then that nutrient-rich soil grows a tree. And a tree grows and it bears fruit. Each fruit on that tree holds seeds. And now those fruit drop and hit that nutrient-rich soil with all those seeds. And it multiplies over time. That's just one negative, pessimistic seed or thought or feeling. It perpetuates itself. But the same is true with optimism. And so sometimes people were like, well, I stopped doing that a month ago, but my life is the same. And it's like, you don't realize you've had years of seeds planted in, again, the most nutrient-rich soil. It takes time for you to starve that, for those seeds to die, and for you to continue to plant optimism and for that harvest to grow. It don't happen like this. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
100%. The actions, the words, the language, everything that you speak and say and do is basically you're planting seeds for the garden of your future. What type of future would you like to have? What type of experiences would you like to have? It's just the language. Language creates reality, right? Language produces a thought that produces a belief. From a belief is either you can or you can't, but it produces an action. From an action, you get a result. The result is your life. We make it complicated. It is not that complicated. At all. But the thing about it is time. Time is the greatest reward and time is the greatest punishment. So when you talk about duality, you have to understand that time ain't nothing to be messed with. Okay, so you can't undo most of the things that you do in this 3D printed reality. This is why it takes time for the things to actually be printed in this reality. Mm-hmm. If everything was able to just come out right here, right now, anything that you think, we have chaos. So it's giving you time to let your thoughts permeate through that rich soil, right? So that way you can develop and nourish yourself and grow. So that way when you bear that fruit is very fruitful because it's supposed to multiply. Mm. You're also supposed to surround yourself with people who will shine light on you. You got to surround yourself with an environment. So when we talk about creating an app, when we talk about creating a program, think about it. When you go into mentorships, right, and you get a course, let's say you get a course in your email, it's just you in the course. How long are you going to actually stay into that course and be intentional and stay focused and committed? Probably not.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you got a lot of y'all got a lot of dust on your courses in your email. just blow the dust off, right, and come to the accountability call so that way you can get the work done that you need and get yourself in an environment with other like-minded people. Because without other people, we'll never get to where we want to be. Just think about this thought. Most people, it's the language once again. People say, "Oh, I'm an introvert." You're not an introvert. You just like being by yourself sometime, which is great. You should be by yourself sometime. It's pleasurable. Be by yourself. But all the money that you want to make is in other people's pockets. In fact, the money that's in your pocket is not even your money.
That part.
It's somebody else's. You constantly give out that money is somebody else's. So the key thing is, okay, if that is somebody else's, then I understand that I'm planting a seed for the garden of my future with everything that I do. Then now what comes into play is, who am I providing the money to? Am I providing money to somebody that's going to give me back a result? This is what we talk about when we say mentorship. Yep. If I take my money and I put it into mentorship, now I'm collecting years of information from this one person and I'm downloading into my brain. I'm downloading into my experience that now I can use it for me, use it for mine. Now, all the impact that you want to make is in other people's hearts. Right. Mm. So if first of all, we know all the money that you want to create and you want to collect is in other people's pockets, then you got to find a way to be valuable. You got to find a way to actually be a person of service and provide something that somebody wants to exchange the money for. Now, when we talk about all the impact being in somebody else's heart, because who are we really doing this for? We do it for each other.
Right.
Like all the love that we have, we're doing it for each other. So you have to be sincere. You have to be genuine. You have to have connectivity. You have to really be able to connect. That's why I said I appreciate you, bro. And I want to make sure we continue to have a relationship because you're a person I need to know. Like you're a person I need to build with. You're a person I need to have in my circle.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying that to you. But there's a lot of people that probably said that to you. But there's a lot of people that said it to me. And whoever's looking, there's a lot of people that's saying it to you. But you got to be the one to say it to yourself. Right? Because guess what? All the potential that you're ever going to actualize is going to come from other people. You're never going to reach your full potential by yourself. The slow road to success, and most people don't even get there, is doing it alone.
Yep.
But the fastest way to success is strategic partnerships. 99.99% of successful businesses are created on strategic partnerships. See, the primary focus is becoming more effective in less time. But the primary pathway is through strategic partnerships. You and I right now have a strategic partnership. I'm helping you do something. You're helping me do something. Together, we help everybody do something.
Yep.
We're winning.
Yeah, I like to co-author realities. Yeah. Life is in a lot of ways a massive book that people really don't even take the time to explore. Right? And we all get the opportunity to co-author these experiences that go into this book of life.
100%. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so you got the accountability groups and you mentioned the summit to me. What's that about? Talk to me about that.
So the summit is a 3-day summit where we teach you how to turn your annual income into monthly income. So we're going to show you how to really elevate your life, transform your mindset, turn it into a tool set to create these cash flowing assets. So that way you can never, ever be broke again, right? So that way you can create the beautiful experiences, regardless of how people say it. You need money in this world. So if I'm working X amount of hours, I would rather like not work those hours and still get paid the same. How can I do that? So we're going to teach you that. I got a 3-day summit. This is going on. This is January. Should we say dates on this?
You can if you want to.
All right. Or should we just drop
we can.
All right.
I have to say dates.
All right, cool. So yeah, we got the Manifest Million Summit. That's a 3-day summit where we're going to take you through and show you how to actually get the Fantastic Five. So when I talk about the Fantastic Five, everybody, if you want to create more cash flow, if you want, it doesn't matter what you do. This works across all platforms, all businesses, all industries. The Fantastic Five is this. It's basically IUAs. Now I'll break it down, right? So you want to have investments, you want to have upsells, you want to have an anchor, you want to have an affiliate, and you want to have assets. So for me, I'll break down what it is for me. My anchor is personal to business development. It's my book, it's the app, it's my digital products. It's me teaching people how to sell. I teach people how to sell, right? That's the whole point of you turning, your annual income into monthly income. Now, what about your anchor? What about your affiliates? So now I need to have strategic partnerships, right? So now I got a person that can get somebody funded.
Right.
If I got a person that gets somebody funded and I'm getting 5% off the funding, and we get you $100,000 and I get 5%, I just made $5K on top of what I had from if you purchase my accountability program, if you purchase my book, right? So now, okay, cool, you got the affiliate, but now you need the asset. Most people don't have the asset. See, I have a new era of banking. Instead of having, the traditional banking, I have IULs, right? I have a corporate owned policy as well. A corporate owned life insurance policy. That's my asset. Why? Because my money is having money babies. My money is making me money. My money is pregnant. You understand? My money got the big belly. You get what I'm saying? So you got to have these assets. And now when you have the investments, what's my investments? Real estate. See, I'm doing real estate. I'm gonna drop a couple stacks in there and I'm gonna get my return. My return ain't gonna come in 2 months. It ain't gonna come in 3 months. It's a slow return. Right. But it's a return. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna make my money. So
making that money, make money.
And then I'm gonna have my upsells. So I have over 100 digital products. So okay, cool. If you don't purchase anything on my from the app itself, you could purchase my ebooks. You could purchase all my other stuff, all my digital assets. I have a speaker's timeline, right, where I help speakers be able to get the best presentations. Like I have a rhythmic timeline that's going to allow you to be the best speaker. Why? Because it's all about the flow. It's all about the flow. And I have the whole blueprint, and people can get that. Sometimes I give those things away for free too, because it's all about adding value. But you have to have the Fantastic Five, right? Once again, you have to have your anchor. What's going to be your anchor? Then you have to have your affiliates. What can you draw? So I have guys who do AI business automations, right? So if you're a business owner, you want AI automation. You don't want to do all the work. So that's my affiliate, but I don't need to do that work. I got my brother, he could do that work, right? So my brother come in, he'll do that work for him. I got other people who you need to create content, right? Right now, this is what we're doing. We're creating content. But I have a person that can shoot the content. I don't need to be that person. So now I tie that person as my affiliate. There's 2 affiliates right there. I make $5,000 each off of them. That's $10,000 I done made in 1 month off of one person, off of one transaction, off of one deal, right? So now we go deeper into it. We say, okay, cool. We got the assets. So now I take the money that I just made, $10,000, $20,000 from one person. I'm talking minimum numbers. And then I put that into my corporate owned life insurance policy and let that grow. So now my money making money on top of my money making money.
Right.
All right, cool. So now we go deeper with it. Okay, now I got the upsells. So not only do we have that, now we got a 5-day challenge coming up, right? Or we got the 3-day summit now. So now you could pay to have the 3-day summit. So now you come into the 3-day summit. You understand how to do all of these strategies. All right, cool. Now you got information. You got opportunity. But now right there, you understand how to put yourself in the game to turn your annual income into monthly income. And then the last thing is the investments. So after you get the annual income turned to your monthly income, you're just going to spend it out, or you're going to actually be able to know to put it somewhere so that way you can have a longevity when we talk about family legacy, when we talk about generational wealth. So you have to know where to place it. So we're teaching you the fundamental structure to have longevity when it comes to just at least turning your annual income into monthly income.
Okay. And so we can get the information out to everybody. What do they need to do to get the information about?
So we're gonna do like they got a text. They got to do a text number. So,
yep. So you can set something.
I think I got. Let me look at my numbers real quick.
Yeah, get it. That's cool. So we're gonna get the information out to everybody.
Right.
They could join the wait list, or they could get more information about the 3-day summit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. It just builds on everything that you were just talking about getting in the right rooms with the right people, getting the information.
100%. So it really is though, right? Because it's power in proximity.
Yep.
So whether you're in the Zoom or you're in the room, it's the fact that you're in a space where now you get information that you may not have known prior, that now you can utilize to skyrocket your life. And just because you work a 9-to-5 or you're in the corporate world doesn't mean that you can't utilize these strategies, because before I left the corporate world doing graphics for Netflix and Roku, we already got a 6-figure deal.
Yep.
Right. So not only that, I was already doing videos and photography for people. So there's other ways that you can get it, but the key component, the primary focus is becoming more effective in less time, and the primary pathway is through strategic partnerships. And the result of all of that is multiple streams of income and multiple streams of impact. So now if y'all want to learn how to turn your annual income into monthly income, you got to text the word millions to 347-429-6496. So once again, if they want to come to the 3-day summit, you definitely want to be able to text millions to that number. We'll have it on screen, right?
We'll have it. We'll have it on screen. We'll put it in. We'll put it in the notes. But there's people listening. You know what I mean. So we want to make sure that they get the info as well. So you got the summit coming up, and you got some special guests coming to the summit.
I got tons of special guests. Should I give away the special guests right now?
Nah, but just they just need to know that.
All right, so let me put you on. All right, cool. Now I just got to know. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we shouldn't be giving away the sauce too much.
We don't got to give away the sauce, but they definitely, you know what I mean, just want to stress to them the urgency of being in the building and getting the information, not just from you, but from some surprise folks.
So let me put y'all on game. So we got people who are industry experts. Right. So you know about the self-storage facilities. All right. Let's not even take it to commercial. Let's just talk about residential. Just keep it on the light side. So I got people who are coming in, gurus, people who actually have experience, who have real estate. I'm talking about multiple units. I'm not talking about somebody who just got one property. I'm talking about multiple units, people who've done it, tried, and it's tested, and everything is documented. So I got people that's going to come in to teach you how to put your money into real estate. Not only that, but show you systems that can automate the process. Not only that, I'm going to have people come and talk about the life insurance. Why? Because this is the new era of banking. Everybody should have life insurance. Life insurance is not death insurance only. It's life insurance. It's meant to be used while you're here, so that way you can pull from to be able to make moves. We're also going to show you how to get free money. Look, I know they like that part. Let me say it again. I'm going to show you how to get free money. You get what I'm saying? Free money. Get to the bag for free. Right. And all you got to do is text millions to 347-429-6496. And we got a few other special guests that's going to come through.
I got you. So one of the traditions here is I always like to ask friends of the show to share one perspective, one mindset that they will offer to the listeners to help forward them and move them along their path to becoming the best version of themselves. What would that be?
I would say it's a 3-step process.
Okay.
And renovate, innovate, collaborate.
Break that down.
So you want to be able to renovate who you are as a person. Like, everything that you're doing right now may not be enough to get to where you want to be. In fact, most people can't be who they want to be because they're too busy holding on to who they've been. So you got to renovate who you are as a person. You got to renovate your beliefs, update your beliefs. It's okay to change who you are, because that's what's happening every day anyway. So you want to renovate your beliefs. You want to renovate how you operate. So when it comes to the innovation side of it, now you want to add new spins to it. You want to add a twist to it. You want to do something differently, right? And the collaboration part is you want to work with other people. So I'll give y'all a quick breakdown. Like, when you think about Amazon, first of all, there's the top companies right now who out there really shaking and moving and really getting to the B's. They use this formula: renovate, innovate, collaborate. So let me ask you all a question. Which space did Amazon renovate?
In the beginning, books.
Books. Okay. Which space are they innovating now? Like they're renovating now?
Right now, most people are not cloud technology.
Okay,
They're
put
going
you
crazy.
on. They renovated the mall.
Oh,
Amazon took the mall from being in person to online. How did they innovate it though? You know how they innovated?
Prom.
Right. So it used to be, okay, cool. If you did online mall, because there were certain people who tried to do that before. You do online mall, okay, cool. You get your stuff when? 7 to 10 business days, maybe 2 weeks. But they said prom and get it in 2 days. Damn, innovate. That's an innovation. Nobody heard about 2 days shipping before that, right? So you innovated by 2 days shipping. But not only that, they did something that was so clever. They partnered up. They collaborated with who? The everyday person. When you go to the mall, it's these big brands. Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Sears. Well, I don't know if they still exist, but you know what I mean. All of these malls, right? And have all of these big brands. But Amazon partnered with the everyday person.
Amazon sellers.
Why would you partner with the everyday person?
Because you give yourself more partnerships to be able to provide product to more people.
Right. And then you get what? Free advertisement. So if I'm a person that's on Amazon, now my store on Amazon, my store on Amazon, my store on Amazon, my store on Amazon.
I see.
So they collaborated with the everyday person, and the everyday person is able to also offer advertisements to them, right? And guess what? The payouts are smaller. I don't have to pay out Macy's. Macy's want a bigger bag, and they want the bigger bag up front. Smaller person. And then now, guess what? I done created a conglomerate of new sellers, and I created a whole new market. And now I created an environment where my friends and family come to support my product, and my community support my product. So everybody's on Amazon. Plus, it's 2 days shipping. Plus, I don't have to go out and go do anything physically. It's all coming to me. Renovate, innovate, collaborate.
I like that. So, a new tradition. I always have a guest ask a question that is given to a future guest. So the question that is given to you from a previous guest is, would you rather be rich and lose it all, or never be rich at all?
Yeah. Just hearing that's a tough one, but I'm going to have to go with be rich and lose it all.
Why so?
Because of renovate, innovate, collaborate. It's like, no matter which stage of life I'm at, okay, I'm broke now. I lost it all. Okay, now I got to reinvent who I am. How many of us are already doing it? You already do that. So let me just reinvent who I am. But now let me do it better, because all the lessons that I had, or all what we thought was failures, was just really lessons. They were really blessings, right? So it's a beautiful thing about life. And it's like, if you learn the lesson from the messages inside the mess, then you get the blessings. But if you don't learn, you keep testing. So I have to go through these tests so I can learn. So I had to learn to go get the bag, fumble the bag. So now I learned how to get the bag, but now I also learn how not to fumble the bag. Versus me getting to a top ultimate peak, and then now, damn, I done lost it all, and I don't even know how I got there. I don't even know how to get it back now. But if I was rich and I understood my process, I documented my process, I renovate, innovate, collaborate. Now I already know I got the relationships, I got the people. I could do it faster now. I could become richer faster now.
Yep.
And probably more richer.
And see, you documented the process. Right. That's all right. So now, what is a question that you would like to leave for a future guest? Something you might want to know, something you might want to learn.
Hey, why you didn't tell me this before I came so I can write this down? All right. What I'm thinking is, who are you the possibility of? Who are you? What do you represent? And what type of experiences would you like to create for yourself and others?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Look, you can find me Mindset Mogul Crew on Instagram. You can find me Mindset Mogul on YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever y'all want to find me at. Mindset Mogul Crew. Will we have the text on the bottom?
Yeah, we're
going to have the text right here. Let's see the text right here. So we're going to have the text right here. And you can find me on all platforms at Mindset Mogul Crew, 100%.
Yeah,
also, Love Plus Transformation. You can go get the app You can find me there too. I'm more responsive on the app too because it's direct, and I'm here to help people guide them along the journey.
Yeah. Y'all know me. I'm Dewan Mutungo on everything. I appreciate y'all tapping into the convo. I appreciate you coming by, bro.
100%, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see y'all on the next pod. Peace.
Peace.